and it is 9 o'clock. So, good morning.
Morning.
I am Mario Gangemi, the chair of the MDTA Capital Committee, and conducting this morning's meeting, which I call to order at 9 a.m. In accordance with live streaming law, this meeting is conducted via video conference and live streamed on the MDTA Capital Committee page. All members of the Capital Committee will have their video active during the entirety of the meeting. To minimize background noise during this meeting, I do ask that everyone on the line please mute your phones or computers. Anyone who is presenting or answering a question, we ask that you turn your video and audio on when speaking, and when done, turn your video off and your audio back on mute. There are no members of the public, no elected officials, or no media that have pre-registered to comment at today's meeting. So before we move to agenda item 1, I do want to welcome Bruce Gardner back as our returning executive director. There he is. We look forward to working with him. So I don't know if you want to say a few words before we pop into the agenda, but certainly wanted to give you a formal welcome. So thanks for coming back.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me, and I don't have too many words other than to say I'm really excited to be back, and it was great to see my leadership team here this morning in person. We were all met at 8 o'clock and kind of got a kickoff. Already had a legislative meeting, my first 8 a.m. yesterday. That's going to be very important, and got a full schedule coming up here. So I'll let you guys get to your business, and thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, welcome, and don't hesitate to reach out to us if you need some help. Fantastic. So we'll entertain approval of the Capital Committee open session meeting minutes of January 4th, 2024.
So moved, Member Cox.
So moved. Second, Member Gaines. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And I'll finish that out, aye. So fantastic. Well, now we can go to TIGSTU for contract MR 3030, Environmental On-Call Phase 4.
Okay,
Muted.
thank you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. Good morning, everyone. My name is TIGSTU Belay. I work at Office of Engineering and Construction, Environmental Engineering Division. I'm the project manager for this on-call contract MR 3030. The title for it is Environmental On-Call. The contract is funded fully with toll revenues. This contract allows for on-call repair, rehabilitation, construction of environmental assets, including small drainage structures, stormwater BMPs, and natural resource mitigation sites across all MDTA facilities. The scope includes repairs, upgrades, replacements, and new construction of drainage and stormwater BMP features, including but not limited to manholes, inlets, intersections, storm drain pipes, ditches, risers, etc. It would also include landscaping and tree operations work. The contract procurement method is invitation for bids capital construction method, typical low bid construction project. It has a couple of allowance items, $25,000 for railroad expense allowance, $625,000 for materials for construction, $140,000 for specialized equipment for construction, and $465,000 for specialized subcontractor for construction. The engineer's estimate for this contract was a not to exceed amount of $6,062,800. It was advertised on August 29th, 2023. Bids were received on October 20, 2023. A total of 4 bids were received for it. The low bid was submitted by Browner Builders Incorporated in the amount of $4,397,736. We are recommending this contract from Browner. We are recommending award for this contract from Browner Builders. The low bid price from Browner and Builders was 27% below the engineer's estimate. And for this reason, a bid justification was performed and it's included with the capital committee notes. There was no bid protest or rejection on this contract. When it comes to MBE goals, it had 11% MBE goals with no sub goals and a 1% goal for BSBE. Browner Builders in response has submitted an MBE plan with 11% MBE goals and 11% MBE and 1% BSBE. The MBE plan has been evaluated by MDTA Civil Rights and Fair Practices. This contractor with a low bid, Browner Builders, they have experience working with MDTA, and they also happen to be the incumbent for the current environmental on-call contract. Did I hear something or a question? Okay, I'll continue.
We'll certainly open it up to questions for you. So if anybody has any, go for it.
Okay. So the notice to proceed for it is anticipated in April 2024, and the contract duration is 3 years, which totals 1,095 days for construction. With that background, we are seeking recommended approval from the Capital Committee to present this contract to the full MDTA board in anticipation of approval for the contract award. Thank you very much.
Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Just looking
Sure.
at the bid tab and under the item for skilled labor, drainage, and stormwater work, I see Bronner has a price of $160 an hour. Are you worried that maybe this item is something that's going to run over and they've got an unbalanced bid here? Did anybody think about that?
We did consider this, and we also checked this figure against the amount, the unit price from the other bidders. So it's comparative. At the same time, there is also the foreman with pickup truck from drainage and stormwater work, the next item, which actually is on the lower end. So we considered it as one team. So it also gets a little bit balanced by that. The next item you see, foreman with pickup truck.
And he's got, trying to read it, $1? Is that right?
Yes. So
I didn't think that was right. Okay. Yeah, and I realize he's under on some of the other items, but they just decided to put all their money onto this item, it seems like, or a lot of money on it. And I'm just wondering why they would do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Member Gaines. I looked at those numbers and I thought, and I see where the net numbers down, that's where you correlate. Is that?
Yeah, so overall, it's a very good price, as long as it doesn't run over on the labor item too much.
yeah, so for our analysis, we compare those unit prices against other bidders and also how these pay items have been compensated in other recent on-calls. So it also comes down to how we basically monitor and supervise construction phase activities to make sure we take advantage of some of these nominal prices while keeping an eye on their usage of this skilled labor item, basically.
Mhm. So it's just a budget there for all the, for like materials for construction, specialized equipment. Those are big budgets. So you have to request specialized equipment, I guess, don't you?
It has to be requested and it has to be approved, basically. So
Right.
we'd have a task order prepared for this on-call. We'd have our own engineers estimate, and the contractor has to respond to that task order with their cost. And we only proceed if it's acceptable, even if it's
Right.
within this specialized item.
Right. Very
Yes.
good. Thank you.
I have
All
one
right.
more. Have they been performing satisfactorily?
I would say yes.
They do a
That-
lot of work for us, I think, don't they?
They
So
do.
we've seen
They
her
do.
name quite a bit, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they work with State Highway and MDTA. They do a lot of work. I
Right,
believe
I
they also
understand
have
that.
other on-call contracts. Sorry, go ahead, please.
Just to summarize, because member Gaines' question was good. Under similar circumstances, similar type open-ended contracts, that particular a loaded item like that has not been a problem for us, because we've been able to keep it under control, is what I think I heard you say. Okay,
Yes.
just wanted that for the benefit of the whole committee. So thank you. Is there
All right.
is there a motion?
So moved. I move to accept it.
Second.
Contract.
Member Gaines moved, member Sneed seconded. Any follow-up discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, that was everybody. So thank you.
All right. Thank you.
And have a great day. Thank you. So now we can move to contract MA 3018R, drainage outfall rehabilitation. And Peter will be presenting.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'll be presenting MA 3018R. The project manager actually is Jen Monroe Black, but she's a consultant, so I'll present on her behalf. But this falls under our program. So this is a drainage outfall rehabilitation. The contract is funded 100% with toll revenues. The work is performed under this contract is located along I-895, Baltimore Harvard Tunnel Thruway, I-95, John F. Kennedy Memorial Highway. This project is construct drainage improvements, which will improve the safety of the roadways. The drainage improvements include repairs and or replacements of drainage features, including but not limited to manholes, inlets, and end sections, storm drain pipes, and ditches. It will also include performing cured in place pipe rehabilitation. The contract is being procured using the invitation for bids, capital construction method, typical low bid construction project. State allowances that were included are $100,000 for miscellaneous construction, $30,000 for railroad expense, $50,000 for direct hire, contractor protective services expense, $50,000 for handling and disposal of contaminated material. The engineer's estimate is $3,843,473. The ad and bid dates were September 13th, 2023 and November 15th, 2023. We had 5 bids received. The low bid was submitted by JJID Incorporated in the amount of $4,402,604,000 and $4 million, excuse me. We are recommending the award of this contract to JJID. The low bid was 14% below the engineer's estimate. There was no bid protest or rejection. The bid justification was formed and is included with the capital committee notes. The MBE goal is 28%, with sub goals of 8% for African American and 11% for women owned. The VSB goal is 1%. JGID Incorporated has submitted an MD plan with 28.4% MBE and 1% VSB. The MBE plan is being evaluated by MDTA Civil Rights and Fair Practices. JJID Incorporated is a relatively new contractor to MDTA, but they've done work for SHA, Baltimore County, and Cecil County, and have had positive references. NTP is anticipated in March 2024, and the contract duration is 545 days. We are recommending this for approval from the Capital Committee to present this contract to the full MDTA board in anticipation of approval for contract award. Thanks. Any questions?
I have a few, but I'm going to open it up to the group here. Go ahead, Mr. Member
Who wants
Gaines.
to go first? All right. Who is J? I never heard of JJID. So relatively new. It must be really new, huh?
So Member Gaines,
new to us.
I don't know if you remember the old James Julian.
Yes.
That's essentially one of the Sun's company out of the breakup of that
That's
company.
They were a Delaware company, weren't they?
They're a Delaware-based company. So since they're right across the border from me, I have some questions.
So they have some. Oh, you have other questions. They have some experience, I hope.
They do.
In this type of work. Yeah.
I would say that, I mean, my answer is yes, they do. My question, just to tag on to obviously it's always uncomfortable when you bring in a new contractor that you've never been with before. I would ask, so I've seen them take a long time to get things done. I'll put it that way. I know I'm on a public meeting and I'm recorded and all that good stuff, but I'm going to be honest.
Right.
I have my concerns. There's a project on 301 that I'd swear they disappeared for months in the Millington area of Maryland. And I also know of some folks who have hired them in Delaware that were extremely unhappy with that they're not completing work in a sufficient amount of time. Candidly, missed deadline. So I do have my concerns. So I guess my advice is we got to stay on them. You can't let them slip a minute.
No, great feedback.
Member Gaines, I remember Gaines brought it up. Remember, again, Jimmy, I can tell you that you're talking about the same experience I had years ago. So I just hope they've improved. And I think, remember, again, Jimmy, that your point of staying on top of it is well founded.
Well, this contract is for it's an open-ended thing, right? It'll be a bunch of different sites, right?
Correct. It's more or less like a book job. Just to help differentiate, when we say drainage improvements, a core part is actually putting cured in place pipe, basically replaces the current pipe as using it as a host. That's a core work, and that definitely when we get it scheduled, that's lock and load, and you have to go. The other work geared towards outfalls, drainage ditches, more earth work. That work, we want to recognize that, hey, you guys, just keep working on it. But that can have a little bit of stop and go, whereas a cured in place,
right,
it has to be pretty much up and running. And we've had 2 of those projects under our belt, so fortunately, we're very experienced in that kind of work, and we can work with them.
I do want to be clear. I do think they have the capabilities. I do believe that.
I agree.
I appreciate hearing that.
I just worry about the time.
I have a question. You have maintenance of traffic. It's like a lump sum. That's for, $227,000 now. How do they divvy that up amongst all the different sites they might be on?
That's a good question, and we worked with our traffic division on this. This is always a very key point of doing these activities, because we were scheduling with other projects in the same location. So this is going to be done by each site. We're going to have a site plan, like I said, a book job. So we're going to have basically MOT laid out for each. I think the CIPP where we can is string all the MOT together, because we bundled the pipes pretty much in the same proximity.
So it's almost a
So-
budget, really.
Correct.
So
And
well, let me, this really, remember Gaines called it an open-ended project, but these are specific projects within an, you already know where, you know the scope,
You know where they are?
unlike the
Yeah,
one
okay.
before.
correct.
Okay, I'm
Right.
sorry, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's a good clarification. I would ask, for our sake, because all three of us, who are, well, Member Gaines isn't necessarily familiar with JJID, but Member Cox has obviously seen them in action, and I have. I would ask that once you get into this, that we actually have some follow-up in our committee meeting on how you're doing with schedule on this particular project. And I ask that so that when they come up again on a future project, we already know, we know firsthand ourselves, hey, they've been doing great. Schedule's been, working out well. They're responding. I think it would be helpful for us to know that.
Oh no, absolutely. I think that's great feedback to share.
Awesome, thank you. So good discussion on MA 3018R drainage outfall rehabilitation. Do we have a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion.
Member Cox
Second.
moved. Member Gaines seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All right, that was all of us. Okay, now
Thank you,
we
gentlemen.
can move. Thank you, everybody. Now we can move to MR 3020 on-call facility building repairs. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and the capital committee members. My name is Ming Zheng. I'm the MDTA Office of Engineering and Construction Facilities Group Project and Design Manager. Today, I'm going to present contract MR 3020, the on-call facility repairs. This contract will provide all labor, equipment, and the materials necessary in performing miscellaneous facility and other types of repairs, upgrades, replacement, and new construction, as directed by the MDTA project manager in an on-call or task-based manner at all MDTA facilities. And the work might include all building components, such as roof, foundations, walls, windows and doors, ceilings, flooring, interior and exterior finishes, electrical, plumbing, mechanical, fire alarm, security, data IT, elevators, system, etc. And work might also include some special structure, like the underground fuel storage tanks, salt barn domes, on-site utilities, site improvement, and hazardous materials removal, etc. This contract was advertised on October 30th, 2023, and the bid's opening was December 21st, 2023. The anticipated construction NTP is this coming April, and the construction duration is 1,825 calendar days. The engineer estimate for this contract was $5,350,000, with $2,350,000 for allowances items, which include the full of them, materials, specialized equipment, specialized subcontractors, and the premium overtime rate. The not to exceed award amount for this contract is $5 million, as stated in the contract IFB book. We totally received a total 4 bids, with the lowest bid going to Mid-Atlantic General Contractors, Inc. Bid amount $4,984,475, which is within 1% lower than the engineer estimate. There is no bid protest or rejection, and the contract is 100% funded by the toll revenue. Since the apparent low bid is within 1% of the engineer estimate, so the bid justification is not needed for this contract. The overall MBE goal for this contract is 18% with no sub-goals, and the VSBE is 1%. The goals submitted by Mid-Atlantic general contractors exceeds the requirements. I think they submitted 19.5 for MBE and 1% for VSBE. And their MBE plan was approved by MDTA Civil Rights and Fair Practices. Mid-Atlantic general contractor is new to us. They not worked with us before, but they have performed similar work as identified in the contract FV scope of work with other state agencies and the local government. We checked that from their experience questionnaire answers and also their website. And we also received a favorable response from their reference list. Thus, we're seeking recommended approval from the Capital Committee to present this contract to the full MDTA board at their next meeting. Thank you. And yeah, any questions?
Great. Any questions?
I got a question. How long have they been in business, you know?
Based on their experiences, we saw contracts back to like at least 10 years, 15 years ago.
Mhm.
And they worked with the MTA, MAA, state, county agencies. And currently they're working with the two school systems, UMBC and Maryland. UMD for their on-call contract. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Anybody else?
It just seems like an extremely accurate bid with a 0% variance. It's impressive.
We're surprised on that too. Yeah.
We'll give all the credit to the OEC. How's that sound?
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good observation. I was thinking the same. It's funny. Any further questions or a motion for approval?
So moved.
Member
Second.
Gaines moves. Member Sneed seconds. Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Okay, that was everybody. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank
We are
you.
now moving to HT 3018-000-0000. I-895 resurfacing north and south of BHT.
Hello. This is good morning, board members.
morning.
And good morning, and good morning, everyone here. As a project manager, this is Tony Zhang from OEC Highway Engineering. As a project manager, today I will present the contract HT-3018-0000, which is I-895 resurfacing north and south of BHT. This contract is for safety and resurfacing along the I-895 corridor. The work include roadway resurfacing, drainage structure cleaning, and traffic barrier replacement to meet current standards. This contract also have an engineering cost estimate of about $11.4 million. In which there's two allowance items, 10,000 for patering and 300,000 for miscellaneous construction allowance. This low bid construction project also have approved MB goal, which is 29% with 8% for African American and 11% for women. And also have a VSB goal is 1%. This contract have been advertised on May 10th 2023, and there are total 3 bids we received. The bid opening is on the August 11, 2023. The lowest bid is by P. Flanagan and Son, which the bid amount is $10.5 million, which is 7% below our engineering cost estimate. And there was no bid protest or rejection. The company P. Flanagan also submit a MB plan with a 29%, in which the MB goal plan meets the goal, which have been approved by the MDTA, Civil Rights and Fair Practice. And also, P. Flanagan and Son have several like a similar contract with the MDTA and successful completed those contracts with very positive references. This contract will be have a construction duration of 440 days for construction, and NTP we anticipate will be this April 2024. So we are seeking a recommend approval from the capital committee, presented it through to the MDTA board to anticipation of approval for the contract award. Thank you.
Thank you. Any
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
questions?
Chairman, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad to see that the bids were fairly close with Flanagan, Myers, and Gray and Son. I mean, Gray and Son's a little bit higher. But let me ask you a question. In this bid, and I know it goes back a ways, is there a lock-in price for blacktop? I mean, with the variation, obviously, actually could be day to day in asphalt and obviously petroleum. You know, if they're within this bid, is there an adjustment if prices go up or down or in between?
Do we have an asphalt adjustment on our projects? I guess
I'm sure
Yes.
we do.
sure we do too.
Yeah. Hi.
Jim, I guess
Morning.
you can answer that question.
Yeah.
Morning, Jim.
Good morning, Capitol Committee members. Jim Harkness, Chief Engineer for MDTA. I'll just jump in and let you know, yes, we do have a price adjustment specification for diesel, and that includes asphalt. And so, as you mentioned, with the variations, you know, if it meets certain criteria, we will either see some savings or we'll spend a little bit more money. So there are items that we can use to cover that. And just for your information, we are also you know, now working on that price adjustment specification to include steel items as well, moving forward in future solicitations and procurements. To again, just you know, sort of realize either savings or some higher expenditures in order to help out the consultant community when they're putting their bids together.
Very good.
Jim,
Thank you.
real quick, thank you for I had a feeling you were going to jump on, so thank you. I know Member Gaines is used to the asphalt adjustment as am I, but can you at a future meeting, can you do a 5-minute primer on how that works, just to show how that impacts a project either positively or negatively? A real world project would be great to show.
Okay. Yeah, we have plenty of examples where we've worked with that in the past, and then we can also touch upon how the new price adjustment specification for steel will work. So
that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
When did this job bid?
The bid opening is August 11, 2023.
Okay, I got a question. So we
Uh-huh.
advertised it in May, and we don't bid it till August. Are we that slow? What's the deal?
Advertised
Probably need Mr. Harkness to weigh in on that.
Bureaucratic inertia. And
There we
secondly,
go.
we opened the bids August 11th. Here it is, February. Awarding it. That's a long time. Also, was there some question about whether we're going to do the project? I guess I don't know.
Jim, can you come in and weigh in on the length of time between advertising, receiving bids, and approvals?
If you don't mind, I'd like to defer to Jeff Davis, our Deputy Director of Procurement. He is on camera and available to answer.
Yes, that is one thing I thought might come up today, so I'm definitely prepared to respond. As for the duration of the procurement phase, this project did undergo several rounds of questions and answers and addenda, which would extend the bid due date out. The specific items and the timeline impact I do not have, but it's not atypical to have a project that gets extended during the bid phase for these Q&A periods. As for the award period, this project is something that we've worked closely with engineering on. There was in the low bidder, there was a irregularity that we needed to review internally, review with a couple state agencies to determine whether or not we had to reject or we could cure. The response time back from some of those agencies were slower than we would like. We had received guidance that we would have to go one way, and ultimately we received guidance that we have to go another way. So we had to kind of switch gears a few times. We were doing everything we could to save the procurement, but there's a lot of talk about the MBE and VSBE programs. So when there's any hiccups, this one had a minor irregularity in their VSBE, we have to treat it with care, and we have to treat our response with care. So I do apologize to all parties involved for the length of this, but I think it was necessary for us to do the thorough evaluation and determination that we can move forward with this procurement.
Well, I'm glad you ended up with a low bidder, and you have a very good contractor there. I think they've been in business maybe 100 years, huh?
Long time.
Yes,
Close,
we're
close.
very
I think they
familiar,
have.
great contractor, and that's why we
Right.
wanted to give it its due diligence.
And Jeff,
And-
you never
and-
you haven't had hiccups with them, have you, as far as their work? I mean, as Lee pointed out, they've been in business a long time.
Is it really
Yeah.
going to take 440 days? That's a lot of time.
540.
500.
Yeah, 500.
Is
Yeah,
that that's
540.
calendar days. Is that
Construction.
calendar days?
Yeah.
Yeah, calendar days.
1.5
right.
years. Yes,
Yeah.
540.
Well, you remember, you can only shut down so much at a time, remember, Gaines?
I guess
you've been-
so, yeah. Piecemeal.
Mr. Harkness, did you want to add something? I saw you pop off.
Oh, I was just going to respond to Member Cox that yes, they they have performed very well for us on a number of projects. Typically, they are our on-call paving contractor. They perform as subs on other capital projects, and on this one, they were able to prime this one. So,
Nice. I'll make a motion.
All right, so
I'll second.
move for approval by Member Cox, seconded by Member Gaines. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that was everybody. Well, fantastic. That concludes our meeting. I do have a question. I don't know if Mr. Gardner, if you're still on, and I'm putting you on the spot, but I know from reading the articles that we had an officer shot at, or at least his car was shot at. I understand there were no injuries. It's obviously very disturbing to read that. I did reach out to the colonel, but I know he's got a lot going on. Just is our guy okay? I mean, I know mentally, I mean, you got to be pretty shook up to get shot at while you're driving.
Yeah, I actually think he was parked on the side of the road. That doesn't make a difference.
Right.
But fortunately they've put a wide net out for information and coordinated with, you might have seen in the press release with a potentially, another incident in the DC area. So ongoing investigation. But yeah, we'll inquire about that officer, of course.
Yeah, please. And let us know. I mean, that's pretty disconcerting to see one of our guys shot at. And, it was great to hear that he was okay from, he didn't get hit, but gosh, I know that would be on my mind quite a bit.
Jim,
I know
it's
shot at.
construction site, so I don't know if you want to add anything.
Thank you, Bruce. That was what I was going to touch upon, is that the officer was actually supporting the maintenance of traffic set up for one of our capital projects. So there is a tie-in with the capital committee in this incident in terms of, something occurring within a work zone. So just.
How about those folks then? I mean, they're probably pretty shook up too then.
Yeah, that they were not expecting that. That's for sure.
Well, good luck in finding this turkey.
Thanks for the update.
So, yeah, thank you very much, and appreciate that, and all the best to our folks who had to experience that. So please pass on our concern. We are watching when the stuff's sent to us, and we care deeply about our folks, and we sure as heck don't like knowing that they're in danger. So.
Agreed. Yeah, I'll be meeting with the chief later today, so I'll pass that along.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Well, that all being said, is there a motion to adjourn?
I have a quick question, actually.
Yes, sir.
There are a couple MDTA bills that were put forward. Bruce, will those be gone over in the coming meeting for next month?
Yeah, so, and we've put in a letter of information on one of them that has a fairly significant fiscal note. Engineering did work up that one. I don't think based on the meeting that Jim had with the sponsor, I don't think they really realized the impact and what they were asking. I don't think they realized the full scope of our agency. So there's that, and then. There's going to be some other ones coming up. The Train Commission. There's going to be one regarding, maximization of tolls and increased authority. So yeah, we can be providing briefings on that in the next meetings.
And the only reason I brought up the one you referenced first is because it would have a very significant impact on our capital projects, Member Gangemi. So it's important that, we make sure that one gets reviewed and MDTA members weigh in.
Yeah, we'll monitor the fiscal note that gets created based off the information we provided, because we want to make sure our estimate of fiscal impact, is seen by the members considering the bill.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion members need. Thank you for bringing that up. Mr. Harkness, you must have something to add.
Yeah, I just wanted to, just let everyone know. So at our board meeting last week, we had the legislative update, which was performed by Mr. Bradley Ryan and Mr. James Kittleman. And so historically, that's where we've kind of broached the topic of proposed legislation. So just an FYI there.
No, you're right on target. But members needs correct. I mean, some of those bills can cost us quite a bit, which obviously impacts our mission. So appreciate that. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Member Gangemi, just while Bruce is on the line, Bruce, we had a Harford County night last night in Annapolis. Many legislators showed up. Fortunately, probably as many as we've ever had. And obviously, the tolls were brought up last night by a couple of legislators. And I said, of course, I deferred, and I said there'll be much discussion.
Okay, well, thanks for representing us down there.
And thanks everybody for their time today. There was some really good discussions, some really good questions, and appreciate us digging into some of these projects that are put in front of us. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
So moved by member Gaines, second by member Sneed. Usually not have any discussion with that, so all in favor, say aye.
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 All right, that was
Good
everybody.
meeting.
Well, have a fantastic,
Bruce.
Mr. Gardner. It's great to see you.